Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football Monday morning. College football transfer portal just absolutely going crazy. And we have some massive news at the quarterback position as Oklahoma quarterback Dillon Gabriel expected to enter his name into the transfer portal. And this one makes a lot of sense. If you're an Oklahoma fan listening, this is the Jackson Arnold era. And Dillon Gabriel did wonderful things for Oklahoma the last 2 years. But this is Jackson Arnold's team heading into 2024. And Dillon Gabriel has a massive service to give to another collegiate football program. Dillon Gabriel, I think, immediately becomes one of the more coveted quarterbacks in this transfer portal class. I want to talk a little bit about what Dillon Gabriel is going to bring to an offense, but more importantly and more fun is what programs make the most sense for Dillon Gabriel to wind up at to start that 2024 season. Before we do, just want to say thank you to you guys. The amount of support that you guys have shown the last couple of weeks, especially as we're entering into the transfer portal season, it's been amazing. I'm extremely grateful for all the support because that allows me to do what I do, and I absolutely love doing it. So if y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and more importantly, would love to hear from you guys in the comment section in terms of best landing spots for Dillon Gabriel. And without further ado, let's get into this one, and let's talk about Dillon Gabriel first in terms of what another program is going to get from Dillon Gabriel. And what you're getting is one of the more productive and experienced quarterbacks in the entire country. He's going into his 6th year of college football. We're talking about a guy that's thrown for just under 15,000 yards, 125 passing touchdowns, only 26 interceptions. You take a look at what he did in 2023. He accounted for 42 total touchdowns, completed almost 70% of his passes, and only threw 6 interceptions. This is a guy that led one of the most explosive offenses in the country at Oklahoma and is going to be a target for almost any college football program across the country because he's immediately upgrading that quarterback room to start the 2024 year. Now, specific spots that I think would really make sense for Dillon Gabriel include programs that maybe have a young quarterback that they know is going to be their guy, but might not be their guy in 2024. And Dillon Gabriel is able to come in and kind of be that stopgap quarterback where you're getting elite quarterback play from Dillon Gabriel while also not scaring off your younger quarterback that's going to be the future of this program, allowing that quarterback to sit behind Dillon Gabriel, one of the more experienced and productive quarterbacks that we've seen at the college football level, and then be ready to go in 2025. Dillon Gabriel's got one more year of eligibility. He's going to allow a program to compete at the highest level of college football in 2024. And then that young quarterback is able to come in that 2025 season. Looking at a few programs that make the most sense, and kind of immediately when I saw this news, I went to these programs would be going after Dillon Gabriel. Probably the hardest. The first one that just makes sense is Mississippi State. And I say Mississippi State because Jeff Lebby, the former offensive coordinator for Oklahoma, taking that job in Starkville. Dillon Gabriel and Jeff Lebby have probably one of the closer coach-quarterback relationships that you'll see in all of college football. There's a lot that makes sense for Jeff Lebby and Dillon Gabriel to have a little bit of a reunion in Starkville. Year one for a head coach, massive year. For Jeff Lebby to go into year one in his tenure at Starkville with a quarterback like Dillon Gabriel would be absolutely massive to usher in this Jeff Lebby offense into the SEC at Mississippi State. That one probably makes the most sense. Or one that would not surprise a lot of people to see Dillon Gabriel go to Mississippi State. Now, some other teams that are certainly already in contact with Dillon Gabriel that I think would be massive fits for someone like Dillon Gabriel, Ohio State, right? Kyle McCord just hit the transfer portal this morning. You have some question marks about who is the starting quarterback going to be for Ohio State. We've mentioned guys like Cam Ward. I think Dillon Gabriel is probably a better option because you've seen Dillon Gabriel play at a high level for longer than Cam Ward. And what's the number one thing we've said for Ohio State in terms of looking for their next quarterback? You need a quarterback that's going to elevate this offense. We've seen Justin Fields elevate this Ohio State offense. We saw C.J. Stroud elevate this Ohio State offense. We didn't see Kyle McCord do that. Kyle McCord was fine. That's not the standard at Ohio State. Dillon Gabriel immediately comes in and elevates this Ohio State offense, and it has to be an extremely attractive landing spot for Dillon Gabriel. When you look at what Dillon Gabriel wants in his next program, a program that's going to allow him to compete for a national championship, that's going to get him developed for the NFL draft. There's not many programs that fit that recipe, fit that description, than the Ohio State Buckeyes, right? That Ohio State offense going to be loaded, a ton of talent at the wide receiver position, and Dillon Gabriel going to be able to come in and kind of lead an offense that is a Ferrari, and I think Dillon Gabriel is the guy to drive that Ferrari. I don't think Kyle McCord was that guy. So Ohio State makes a lot of sense. And you also, you have some young talent in this quarterback room, guys like Lincoln Kienholz, guys like Aaron Nolan coming in January. They would stay, be able to learn under one of the more experienced quarterbacks that we've seen at the college football level. I think there's a lot of reasons landing in Columbus would make a lot of sense for Dillon Gabriel. The next couple programs I want to talk about, what if he wants to go back to the state of Florida where he started his career at UCF? Florida State has potentially an opening at that quarterback position heading into that 2024 season. You look at Florida State and what they're eyeing for in terms of their quarterback room. I think the future of that program as a quarterback is with Luke Kromenhoek. Coming into that 2024 class, is Luke Kromenhoek going to be ready in that 2024 year? Probably not. We saw what a true freshman playing at the Power 5 level. That's rare to see true freshmen immediately come in and let a team compete for a national championship. Dillon Gabriel offers Florida State, and I get it. Florida State is losing a lot of guys to the NFL. This is still a team that's probably going to be the favorite to win the ACC next year. Dillon Gabriel just saw what that Florida State offense looked like with Jordan Travis. I mean, you won't find many better offensive-minded head coaches than Mike Norvell across the country. Dillon Gabriel can kind of run that same offense that Jordan Travis ran. This would allow Florida State to kind of be really competitive next year as they continue to build this program under Mike Norvell. This is a program where the future is so bright with all the young talent that's coming into the program. We've seen Mike Norvell get extremely aggressive in the transfer portal. Would not be surprised in the slightest for them to go after a guy like Dillon Gabriel. Another team that comes to mind, the Oregon Ducks. This is, again, kind of similar to Ohio State, similar to Florida State. They're losing you look at what Bo Nix just did. One of the more incredible quarterback seasons that we've seen at the college football level. They don't really have an answer. At least it doesn't seem like they have an answer at that quarterback position heading into 2024. You have a guy like Ty Thompson, but talking with a lot of Oregon fans doesn't necessarily inspire a ton of confidence that Ty Thompson is going to be the guy in 2024. We've seen the spring games. We've seen him in spot duty. It hasn't necessarily been put together yet. And so what's a good insurance policy if Ty Thompson is not ready? Going in and bringing a guy like Dillon Gabriel, who, again, very similar skill set to Bo Nix in terms of running that offense with Coach Stein. Extremely attractive offense for a guy like Dillon Gabriel to go to as well. You look at Bo Nix kind of saving his career coming from Auburn. Dillon Gabriel's career doesn't need saving. That being said, this is an Oregon program going into the Big Ten that will allow Dillon Gabriel to kind of show what he has on that national stage, compete for a national championship, compete for a Big Ten championship. I think Oregon makes a lot of sense. He was committed to UCLA before he ended up transferring to Oklahoma when he was in the portal in 2021. That one would make a lot of sense. Obviously, Dante Moore transfers out of UCLA a couple days ago. Miami Hurricanes, they're obviously looking for a quarterback. At the end of the day, most Power 5 programs would want the service that Dillon Gabriel is about to bring to his next stop. He's going to be one of the more coveted targets. Again, left out probably a ton of names that would make sense for Dillon Gabriel. These were the ones that made the most sense for me. Wanted to leave it at that. We'll track where Dillon Gabriel is going. Appreciate the amount of support you guys have shown as usual. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.